This has been something that I've mentioned in several of my videos, and to hear it come from the mouth of the creator himself, it's all the more invigorating. Over the past 24 hours, an interview came out from the Asahi newspaper, and a friend of the channel and top Bachi bro himself, Kagura summarized it for us, and y'all know me. As the resident Kagura Bachi chapter reviewer extraordinaire, I have to go over it. Now, before we dive into this interview, I want to start off by saying that I told you guys from chapter 1 that it felt like as I was reading it, I was in a movie theater, and that feeling has not left me since. Every chapter presented cool movie-esque sequences, and the storyboarding was really telling of the cinephile that xDomoSenpaix is. As y'all know, I'm DomoSenpai. I bring you guys nothing but great reviews and some other videos sprinkled in between. If y'all are new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, make sure you do yourselves a favor, go down below, hit the link in the description or the red subscribe button. Either one is going to help me towards my cause of reaching 100K by the end of the year. I've been putting that like at the forefront as of late, but the shorter goals in between the giant milestone is the fact that we're almost at 7,000 subscribers. We're like 180 away or something like that. And to top that off, that means we're almost at 10K, which is my end of summertime goal. So the closer we get to that, the more we can continue to climb. Tell a friend of a friend of a friend, and let's get back into this video. So now, let's talk about this interview because a lot of the stuff that was covered in here was actually pretty cool. According to the interview, Hokuzono said that becoming the most viewed manga on Manga Plus scared him to the point of not wanting to make a new chapter every week. And to be honest, can you blame him? Imagine you are a rookie writer for a company that is known to cut you off if you don't meet their criteria. And then after you drop your first chapter, you become an overnight sensation in the manga space? That is a lot of pressure. But the coolest part is the fact that he ended up being thankful for it. And as a fan, I'm even more over the moon because we got him to realize just how impactful his story and characters and just the overall feel of the manga is. Something else from the interview that caught my eye was the fact that, contrary to Japanese opinion, he likes the exaggerated, hyper-cool version of Japan that appears in Hollywood films, and those pretty much inspire Kagura Bachi. In the majority of the manga that we read, they usually stay sorta in line with the Japanese myths and folklore, but Hokuzono used the opposite to catapult his manga to the next level. Cinematic shot choices for the spreads, the Tarantino-esque paneling for standoff moments, and a plethora of other things were what made it even more obvious that he loved film. And that coincides with one of the interview quotes. Hokuzono says that he is a major fan of Western movies and Kagura Bachi was influenced by him watching John Wick. His favorite directors are Quentin Tarantino, David Fincher, and Christopher Nolan, but especially Tarantino. As if we couldn't tell, bro. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this point. If I had $1 for every time I jumped out of my seat yelling Kill Bill lines reading this, I would be a millionaire. No bullshit. And most of that came from the Chihiro vs. Sojo scenario. Especially this setting, right around here from chapter 16. All I saw here was Tarantino, and let me not go over the John Wick moments from this manga because, dog, there are so many. But my favorite would be this right here from chapter 14. But to give y'all an idea of the movies all of those filmmakers have done, because I don't think my audience is too big on film, especially like old cult classic films, let's go over these. We obviously know Tarantino for Kill Bill, the classic Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and Django. David Fincher directed Seven, which is one of my favorite films of all time, Fight Club, Zodiac, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which is also a cult classic. And obviously, y'all know Christopher Nolan. Directed the Dark Knight trilogy as well as Inception, and one of my other favorite movies of all time, Interstellar. Just based off some of the films I've named, you can see their influence all throughout Kagura Bachi, and that is one of the reasons it resonates with the Western audience so well. Despite some of the overly critical reviews some of these movies face, the majority of them are certified classics, and I think that line of thought can be applied to Kagura Bachi as well. Not the certified classic part because it's so early, right? It's insanely early, but the overcriticism that it has faced early on. In the comments, let me know what you guys felt about Kagura Bachi when it first came out. Because I know at least for me, I was already sold the minute I read the synopsis when it came out. And you can check the videos that I put out as well. Let's dive into another one of these quotes that genuinely brought a smile to my face. He said he wants to draw new things that the audience has never seen before and wants to amaze both himself and us. Bro, this shit made me cheese hella hard. because almost every manga falls into the, oh man, this is just a ripoff of insert old ass popular manga. And that eventually leads to it getting axed because it's not said manga and it did not live up to the expectations that Jump had on it. Hokuzono is essentially creating a path that, while it being a thorny one, will reap him the most benefit just due to the simple fact that it's insanely uncommon to follow Western media and Western films in particular. As long as he doesn't move from that and stands 10 toes on it, I think this will indeed be something that stays in Jump for years to come and may as well become one of the faces when the old guard leaves us for good. I don't need to explain myself on the old guard. You guys should know. Something else that stuck out from the interview was that he said Naruto was his biggest inspiration, and that's why he decided to pursue becoming a mangaka. I know what everybody else is gonna take from this. Oh, Naruto is influenced all throughout the manga, you can just tell. But what I took from it was that the story of Naruto is what inspired him to actually follow his dreams. Granted, that may come across as cheesy as hell, but let's be honest here. Who didn't get inspired to chase their dreams when watching Naruto? I know I was, but that's a story for a different day. One of the other quotes was that his story is a challenge because revenge story references are uncommon. Are they that uncommon? Maybe if we're talking in the scope of Shonen Jump, then I guess that could be true because outside of Jump, I feel like revenge manga and novels have been all the rage in the last 5 to 7 years. Make sure y'all let me know if I'm tripping in the comments below or not because it feels like I must have missed the memo or something. But this all lines up with the first quote that Kagura had tweeted out saying, he always wanted to write a revenge manga story, but the biggest challenge is to make an Avenger protagonist likable within the shonen manga standards. And to that point, I commend him because like I said, Jump to me at least has a standard of if you aren't One Piece level of storytelling or just One Piece in general, then you could kick rocks. By the way, I'm hella exaggerating if y'all couldn't tell. Kagura Bachi is definitely different in comparison to all the manga that is being presented in Jump's catalog. And I think that's why so many people doomed it to fail. It doesn't fall in line with the My Heroes. It doesn't fall in line with the JJKs, the Jujutsu Kaisens of the world, or even the One Pieces of the world. I commend him for wanting to be different, creating his own thing based on his own preferences instead of following the status quo. While this may not be the best for survivability in Jump, I think with enough support, Kagura Bachi will continue to trailblaze for any other upcoming mangaka that wants to do their own thing. In the comments below, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do y'all want things that are not the norm? Let me know, because I know I do. This interview was really eye-opening for me. If Hokuzono wasn't already one of my favorite authors, this would have definitely put him up there, just based on the relatability alone, on top of loving films like I do. In summary, Hokuzono wants to create new and cool things for his audience. Who am I to disagree? I strive to create cool content as well as being informative to my audience, so that's just another notch under his belt for being insanely relatable. By the way, big thanks to the homie Kagura for translating some of the pieces of this interview, and also to the Asahi newspaper for interviewing our mangaka, giving him the space to tell his story. Was there anything from the interview that you would have wished I'd have covered that was left out? Make sure y'all let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new. Hopefully this video was as fun and informative as it was for me to make. If y'all would like to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. As y'all know, we are almost at 7K subs, and with that in mind, we are closing in on 10K. And that was my goal for the end of the summer. And to top that off, my end of year goal is 100K. Sounds wild, I know. But to be honest, I kind of want to have a goal that seems so far out of reach, but also possible at the same time. Make sure y'all tell your friends, family, and even people y'all don't know to hit that subscribe button. Or if they are fans of Kagura Bachi and don't know who I am yet, make sure y'all send them this way. As always, it's your boy, DomoSenpai, and I will catch you guys in the next video.